welcome to Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. My name is Aditi and I'm excited to be inspiring you all with my creations. I am playing with the Evergreen Elegance and Under the Mistletoe stamp and die set today and showing you some amazing stamping techniques. I have here a piece of green cardstock and I am just going to rub my anti-static powder all around the cardstock because I want to be doing some embossing. I am using my stamp wheel to hold the cardstock in place and making it easy for me to go over with this larger stamp cluster multiple times. I am going to be using the metallic gold rich embossing powder from Wow, and first up I'm just going to use my embossing ink pad, rub that over nicely, smooshing it over the stamp across the entire surface, and I will stamp this about 2 times, making sure I am giving it even pressure all around. A stamping platform, that's why, comes handy here. Now with that stamped well, I am just going to sprinkle the embossing powder and heat set this fabulous pattern that makes for a wonderful background. So in this way, we can use our stamps to just emboss, and I think that simply would make for a wonderful card front. Just add a nice bold sentiment and that card would be complete. I am just trimming down my cardstock because I decided to create 2 tags today, and I am getting that excess off from both the sides, and I will just trim it down at 3.5 so I have nice tags. I like to use my scissors to cut the edges to give that tag shape, and you can always use dies that you have in your stash, but I think this is the most simplest way that I like to use when making quick and easy tags. I am going to be using this Lagoon ink from Altenew to edge across the border of the tag to just create some depth and shadow. And what this does is it brings attention to the center of the tag, framing it all around. I use a microfiber cloth to just remove any excess ink over the embossed details. And here I have also used Cosmic Berry on my other tag, and you can see how that just changes the look of the tag completely. By just changing the ink color used to edge, you can achieve different results. Now for the Evergreen Elegance stamp, I'm going to first prepare a little colored cardstock. So smooshing coral red ink on my craft mat and misting that with water. I am also misting my watercolor cardstock with water, and I will just smush that paper on the ink and lift the ink. What this does is gives me a nice organic fluid looking background. Now I've placed that paper on my stamp wheel, and I'm going to use the Evergreen Elegance stamp set and stamp these leaves onto my tinted colored paper. I am going to use a lighter ink to do this because I want to go back and emboss the leaves. So I will first stamp this with a really light pink. So I'm using rose quartz ink here to do the first level of stamping of these leaves. Now with that done, I am going to just move this to the side and bring out another acrylic block, and this block has the Under the Mistletoe stamp mounted on it. I am using this Samba ink from Catherine Pooler, and just applying that ink on this stamp set, and I will then stamp this entire image onto those existing leaves background that I had earlier stamped. With this, I am doing double stamping, which means that the print of under the mistletoe now will be on my leaves once I die cut them. I just like to quickly dry this because my ink is very juicy, and I will then go over with the same Evergreen Elegance stamp set, this time with embossing ink, and heat set that with the same metallic gold rich embossing powder like I did for the background. I will use the coordinated die and die cut all of these leaves. I love the fact that I can stamp all of them at one go. I can die cut all of them at one go. This just makes life so much more easier. So with that, you can now see I have textured dimensional looking leaves just with that technique of double stamping, and these are going to be so beautiful when I layer them on my tag. I'm using it's the Season Effortless Artsy paper and the coordinated die to die cut these Christmas elements so that I can add them on my tags. I have picked out a bell and a bauble, just colored it with some ink, and on the black I went over with an embossing pen and heat set that with gold embossing powder, just so everything is well coordinated. Now I am going to layer these elements, just placing a cluster of 3 leaves almost like they are hanging from the top, and completing that with the bell and the bauble on top. I like to use foam dimension. These just create great texture and dimension for these tags. I have added some ribbon, and to complete it off I am going to splatter white ink. I have also added the season's greeting sentiment right over the bell and the bauble just to add more meaning to the tags. And that is a closer look at these tags complete. Look at all of that shine, that texture, that embossed detail, everything with just 2 stamp sets. I hope my video today inspires you to pull out your stamps and play along with them, exploring different stamping techniques. Until the next time, take care and bye bye.